No, it actually wasn't easy to find the title. We had the record was finished, and I still wasn't sure what I was going to name it. Yes is sort of the result of the marriage of myself and Reigning Jane. Almost as if I'd asked them to marry me and they said yes. Um, and which is interesting because the working title for this album was Mary Jane. Um, Yes, is what I said when I first saw Rennie Jane perform 8 years ago. Yes is what they said when I asked them to come and collaborate. Last summer, we put all of our songs together and we presented it as a possible album to our record label, and they said yes. Our manager said yes. Our producer, Mike Moga, said yes. It was a series of yeses that got us where we are. And I feel that when fans hear this record, they too will say, yes, finally, a vocally rich album um, that we can get on board with. This is the way we really love to hear these songs. This is my first official acoustic album. Every album I've made, I had always hoped it was going to be an acoustic album. I came close with We Sing, We Dance, We Steal Things, but all my albums start as acoustic demos. They're all born on acoustic guitar, usually tested in coffee shops. And then when I get into the studios, they just evolve into these pop albums. But I think because of the 8 years of development with Reigning Jane, and the album really being based around all of our musical identities and strengths, it would have been inappropriate to replace Reigning Jane with other musicians and make a more pop, traditional pop sounding record. Um, but when we express ourselves with our instruments of choice, which are predominantly acoustic instruments, this is the sound that we make. Each album is based on recent experiences or new understandings of life. Um, some songs have made it through the years and continue to be played in my shows, and other songs I've just thrown away. Like, for example, there's a song on my second album called Oh Lover, Opportunistic Lover, which is actually about, the romance I used to have with cigarettes. And so I'm not going to sing that anymore because I totally feel opposite. I don't smoke anymore. Um, but yeah, I've retired many, many songs and laugh at some of the things that I actually allowed myself to do. But at the same time, they were important because they were stepping stones. They still helped me practice my songwriting craft. They still gave me an opportunity to sustain myself as a musician and keep this thing going. It starts around 4 p.m., would you say? I always joke. I like starting in the evening. I like afternoons. Um, but usually we start 11 or 12, get to the studio, have a snack, get warmed up. We sit in a circle and we work out the songs. If we're starting from scratch, we write a song. If we're working on recording, we'll play the song, we'll work on the arrangement, and we'll figure out what the best way to capture that song is going to be. And we usually work, nowadays it's getting a little more sane. Might work like 11 to 7 or 11 to 8. If the song calls for more, we'll put more time into it. Certainly if we're writing, you could find yourself in labor all night long until the song comes out. Um, so it really depends on the song and what we want to accomplish. But I like having mornings to still go out and, visit the ocean or do some gardening or something other. Because once you're in the studio, and it's, you're in your workplace. So I like to have some. I did. I went to Antarctica with Mona Tavakoli. That was pretty awesome. And we jumped into the Antarctic ice, icy water. And we did get to play music on a little zodiac raft beneath a huge iceberg, which apparently we weren't supposed to be that close to, because they have this ability to break in half or flip over, and they can cause death or injury. And that was pretty crazy. And I was um, I was already aware of environmental uh, issues, but being down there and feeling the privilege of being down there to this remote landscape, it opened my eyes to how I could transform my tours And after that trip, we started tree planting projects. And this year, we're going to get more involved with local farmers markets and community gardens, so that when we're traveling around, we're not just using gas and energy and selling tickets. We're bringing communities together, and we're shining a light on local groups that are making a huge difference in communities that are bettering the environment.
Hit music only. Energy. Hit music only.